needing to place my 2-year-old toddler up for adoption. Has anyone have any experience with this? I came to the realization that I need to place my almost 2-year-old daughter up for adoption. I'm a single mom with no family support and no support from the birth father. I came from a broken, abusive family. My mom was an addict. I actually was in foster care from the age of 12 until I aged out. I struggled from PTSD, depression, and self-delete for my whole adulthood. I'm 30 years old, never wanted to be a parent, so when I was pregnant, I wanted to put my baby up for adoption, but my mom and family pressured me into keeping the baby. They promised me they would help me, but the only one who really helped me was my mother, even though she wasn't dependable because of her addiction. All my family lives out of state, and my mom passed from an OD in January 2021, so now I'm all alone. I actually have a good job and I'm able to financially support my daughter, but my mental health is so bad. 6 months after giving birth, I was involuntarily hospitalized for self-harming. I had a bad case of PPD. Maybe I still do, I don't know. All I know is I'm in therapy and my mental health is not getting better. I had a healthy pregnancy, no drug or tobacco use. I didn't even drink coffee. My daughter is very healthy, loving, well-adjusted, and hitting all her milestones. She loves her stuffed animals. She calls them her friendies. She loves affection and cuddling. She loves music and dancing. If you say, "Happy feet," she will shuffle her feet really fast. She's really the cutest thing in this world. Unfortunately, my mentality has made it difficult to care for her, especially after losing my mother because I have no support. Sometimes I leave her crying in the crib because I just can't handle it. I love her, but I just feel so disconnected from her. It's not healthy for her, and I want her to have a better life than what I had. I know she is attached to me, but I believe she's young enough to make an adjusted transition. I guess this is a long story. I just don't want people judging me. I'm just looking for any advice or people's experiences with placing a toddler up for adoption. I'm hoping to go with a private agency, but not sure if they take toddlers. Even though I was in foster care, I'm not sure how state/foster adoption agencies work. Can I choose the parents, and am I able to have an open adoption? I know with private agencies, I can choose the parents and I am able to have an open adoption. Ideally, I prefer a same-sex couple. I was sexually abused by multiple men as a child, and I really don't trust any hetero men here. I just don't want my daughter to go through what I have been through. I want her to have a good family. Any non-judging advice would be great. Thank you. Relevant comments. I wish I could give you a big hug. I'm so sorry things are so rough, and I can tell you genuinely care about your daughter. Reach out to a local family agency. In our town, that would be United Way, but it may be different for you. From your post, I find it hard to tell if you are considering placing your daughter for adoption because you want to / think it's the best option for both of you, or if you find your current situation unbearable and don't see another option. If it's the latter, then there might be options for you to get support so that you have more space for yourself and can get treatment for your mental health if you so wish. I know in my country, social services and some private charities have people that can come to or even live with you for a couple of months, sometimes a year, to support you in raising your daughter. They create free spaces for you, but also offer resources tailored to your own parenthood and well-being. If this is not an option, someone else has suggested hiring a nanny or moving closer to family for support. Any of those 3 options would take some weight off your back and might be able to create enough time and space to take care of and get help for your mental health in an at-home setting, therapy sessions, maybe medication, rest, meditation, reflection, whatever it is you need to heal. If you feel like you need inpatient treatment, there might be options for you that don't involve placing your daughter permanently. In my country, there are specific treatment facilities for parent-children units. Otherwise, it's possible to make arrangements with social services to place a child into an equivalent of foster care for a limited amount of time. Parents can keep in touch by phone, email, letters, or visits until their mental health crisis is managed to an extent that they can move to at-home treatment. If that's not an option where you are, then maybe something similar can be arranged with a friend or family. As it would be a longer visit, it might even be okay if they live further away. I'm adopted and just wanted to say thank you for listing these resources. It truly brings me peace to know there are more flexible resources than just traditional foster care for mom and child, especially concerning mental health. Motherhood can be isolating, lonely, and exhausting, especially if you suffer from PPD. Thank you again. Some people here have suggested going to CPS. I think that's a terrible idea. Adoption agencies make money from transferring a child from one family to another, and they're not going to turn you away because your child is too. If CPS thinks you're neglecting her, they could take her, and you'll have no say in where she goes. OOP did not respond to any comments at this point, but around that same time posted in a different thread in r/depressed. Trigger warning, self-delete. Actually, self-delete is always an option. I don't think it's a healthy option, but anyone can do it at any time. I tried 3 times by ODing twice on sleep meds/prescriptions and once self-harm, but failed. I definitely wish there were more easier, peaceful methods. Update post, 1.5 years later. Just wanted to update this post. Apologies for not responding sooner. My daughter and I are doing much better than before. It wasn't the best experience to get to this good place, but it all worked out in the end. We both seem to be in a good place. Here's a long version if anyone is interested. Back in February-March 2022, I went through a bad mental health break. I became very depressed. I lost over 20 pounds in a week from it. I did have a self-delete attempt, but I ended up calling for help and the EMT took me into the hospital who then 72 me. I went into an inpatient hospital called HRI Hospital. It's a private one, and it was more of a holding detention than a psychiatric hospital. I did learn a lot from the other patients, so the patients were more helpful than the staff. After that experience, I ended up doing an extra psychiatric program, but it was a PHP, partial hospital program, which is an intensive outpatient one where I spent 8 hours a day Monday through Friday doing therapy work. It was actually more helpful. They focused on teaching about CBT, coping skills, how to reframe negative thought patterns. So that was actually more helpful than the inpatient hospital. I will say at the time Boston was going through a major mental health crisis. Probably most places might be having the same crisis. Around that same time, Boston was trying to clear up the homeless camp tents on the Methadone Mile, and many homelessness were shuffled to these inpatient hospitals, so they were extra overloaded. It took 4 days just to get me a bed, so it was in unprecedented circumstances, and actually, around that same time is when Russia started to invade Ukraine because I found that out while in the hospital, watching the news, so my timing really sucked. It just wasn't a good time. My daughter's update. Right before all of this, I surrendered custody of my daughter to DCF, so she wasn't around me when I had my mental break, back in February, and never saw any of the stuff above. Thankfully, she was placed in a very good foster home while I got my help. I had to go through a lot of treatments and follow DCF recommendations, but at the end of September 2022, my daughter was able to come back home and our court case was officially dismissed in December 2022. Current update 2023. Definitely not perfect. It's still a transition and some days are better than others. Being a single mother is just going to be hard at times, and I just need to get used to it. People tell me it gets easier when they start regular school, so I'm excited for that. My daughter is doing well. She definitely has a slight separation anxiety when I leave or drop her off at daycare, but it actually gotten better since last September 2022. DCF is still doing monthly check-ins for the next 6 months. Her ex-foster mom still comes and sees her and even takes us on family events, so it's been a good transition for her. My daughter is a sweet little girl. She loves affection and hugs and seems to be developing emotionally well with everything that she went through, except for some minor separation anxiety, but that has really gotten better too. I just have been working on my mental health, reframing negative thought patterns, staying away from toxic peeps. I have also been focused on whole body wellness, so I'm doing weight training, some martial arts, eating more cleaner foods, yoga/stretching, Pilates. I gained 50 pounds over the pandemic/lockdown, but now I am back to my pre-pregnancy weight, the healthy way. I don't even weigh myself. I just focus on feeling good and getting back into shape. I like being active and living healthy, so that has really helped my mental health struggles. Also, definitely having better self-esteem, more confidence, and self-worth has helped the most, honestly. I didn't take any pictures of myself for 2 years after the pandemic, but I'm starting to take more pics and getting out more and just enjoying life more. I'm in a much better headspace and definitely feel more hopeful about the future. Thank you all for your help and just for caring and not for judging. I really appreciate these caring comments. Thank you.